What's up? Hello, welcome back. My name is Amanda. So I'm going to be starting a little planty project today. I'm trying not to do too many projects or things with my houseplants just because I have so many projects with the garden this year, but I kind of couldn't help myself. And I came across these. And you can also find these at Lowe's, Home Depot, and even Ace, so it's not like they are hard to get your hands on or they're only at small nurseries. You could find them easily at big box stores. Now it says one package will produce approximately 15 plants, and there's about 10 varieties in here. I'm not gonna list them all, but I'll put them up right here. I'm hoping there's a well-balanced mix in here. Like, I'm not just gonna get all prickly pears, which I mean I'm not gonna be disappointed about because this was only $1.78. But still, I would like as many different ones as I can get. It also says 150 days to bloom with a 7 to 56 germination range, and that is a very big range. I do have heat mats, which you totally don't need, but I am hoping that the heat mats will speed up the process just like it would with veggie sprouts. Now it says a 12-inch or more pot or container is what's recommended, but you don't need to worry about that honestly until they are mature size and you need to transfer them over. I kind of don't know why they put that there. I wouldn't personally recommend to sow these in a 12-inch or more size pot because that's a lot of soil and a lot of space for plants, seeds that do not need it. So to me that just seems like a waste, and you're more susceptible to mold or overwatering because there's so much soil in there and like no roots. So also for your container, you kind of have options on what you can use. I'm just using these plastic containers that I used before for propagating with moss. The reason why I'm choosing these is because they have clear lids and I want to create a greenhouse effect, like a humidity dome. Now you totally don't have to do that. You can grow without any type of cover, but keeping seeds moist can sometimes be hard, especially if you're busy or just forgetful. And those times that you do forget, because it happens to everybody, having the dome will kind of save you. They won't dry out. It'll keep the process nice and consistent until they germinate. So I'd recommend a cover if you can. If you don't have lids, you can just use saran wrap. It's the same thing. The only thing to note is if you use lids, they of course need to be clear. If you have a slightly colored lid, just make sure it's still see-through or a light color. Kind of defeats the purpose if you have like a black plastic lid over it. No light's gonna be able to get through and your seeds might die. Another thing to note is if you use plastic containers like mine, I don't have drainage holes in the bottom, and I'm totally okay with that. You're gonna get one complete water when I first pot them up, and then I'll just be misting the tops. And I'm comfortable enough using a container without a drainage hole, so if you are too, then you totally don't need to drill holes in it. But if you do feel better with drainage holes, then you can go ahead and add your own holes or just use something that has holes in the first place. Now, last thing before we actually sow these is your medium. Now, I have seen people germinate seeds in sphagnum moss, but I have never done it with seeds, so I don't feel comfortable with it. I'm just using my normal soil mix of perlite, sand, and peat moss, but this time my mix happens to have some cocoa added in there, so you can kind of be flexible with what you want to use. If you just want to pick up a bag of the cacti mix from the store, that's totally fine. As long as your soil is well draining, a nice airy breathable soil, then you're totally fine. Now let's go and sow these seeds. Let's take a look at the seeds. I'm actually very excited to see what these look like and how big they will be. So I'm gonna slide these on here. So off the bat, I will say most of these seeds look exactly the same. So up close, I can see some differences in a couple of them. I freaking hope these aren't all the same. I will give this like a quick water just to get it moist. Now I'm gonna count and see, do I actually only have 15? Okay, so I counted 72. There's no way there's 72 in there, even 60. It just doesn't look like it. I don't know. Of course, the amount of seeds I count is not the amount that will actually germinate into full-size plants, but still, that's a lot. They are black and very tiny, so I don't know. I'm just gonna pretty much plop them in. I'm not even gonna bother trying to make like a nice row with these, because once they're dropped in, yeah, I have no idea where they're going. Now just take a little bit more of your medium and lightly sprinkle to cover. You don't want any big chunks and you don't want a super thick layer on here. This is why it's important to have a very light, breathable mix. Just give it one more spray for good measure. Make sure those seeds are nice and moist. Now with any container that you use for propagating, you want to have some aeration. And you don't have to drill holes or stab holes, cut holes into your container if you do not want to. You can totally just take it off and ventilate when it needs. I do that with my big propagation box. Now you need to place this anywhere that gets a lot of light. So I suggest grow lights. It's controllable, you know it's gonna get the right amount of light, but if you don't have grow lights or you don't want to go out and buy them, you can totally just opt for a window, hopefully a southern window. And if you don't have southern light, then just the best light you could give it in your home is going to work. And I'm actually gonna put these under my grow lights right now. As you can see, space is severely lacking, but I don't have to worry about it for too long. These are all my peppers, watermelon, late start Romas, and a variety of flowers, chives that will all be going outside in the next couple weeks. I actually think I'm just going to set it there for now. Now let's look inside. And this is a little over 2 weeks of growth. Again, I don't have any personal experience on how fast the cacti seedlings should be growing, but a little over 2 weeks and this growth isn't that bad. I mean, I'm not complaining. As you can tell, these are so tiny. This is my pinky next to them. And I can at least see that there are a few different varieties. I mean, it is hard to tell because they're so small, but you can see a difference in the type of growth for sure, just at those two. So that's why I said you don't need a container 12 inches or more, because these won't be transplanted for a while. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what these are going to look like. There's even little babies still coming in right there. And the germination rate seems pretty good so far. I'm excited for the next update. Okay, so that's it. Like I said, very easy, simple, fun little project. If you want to go pick up some seeds, and relatively cheap as long as you know, have some soil on hand and a container for your $1.78 seeds. So like always, you can find me on TikTok, Instagram, of course, YouTube. I appreciate and love any subscribe, comment, interaction at all. I love interacting with new people regarding plants, of course. All right, well, wherever you live, I hope you have a good one, and I will see you in my next video.